Okay guys, we're going to work on our zombie photograph. So first thing that we're going to do is go into Lightroom. Should have imported all of your photos into Lightroom, and after you've chosen yours, you're going to click on it, right click, and go to Edit In right here in the middle and edit in Adobe Photoshop. That will open your photograph in Photoshop. And here we have it. The first thing we're going to need to do is duplicate this layer. So in your Layers tab, right click on your background layer and go to Duplicate Layer. Hit OK. And we're going to desaturate this layer. So if you click on or press on your keyboard Control, Shift, and U, that's going to change it to black and white. Then we're going to change in this drop down menu over here to soft light. So right down in here. That's just going to give us a little more contrast. You can see before and after. Then we need to get our textures that we're going to use to create the zombie. So one, a skull, at least I'm going to use, and then I have a picture of some petrified wood. Presumably you would have these in your Lightroom, or if you download them, they might just be in a folder. Mine are in a folder right now, so I'm going to go to File, Open, and you can see I have a skull and some petrified wood, and I'm going to select both of those, hold Control down to select each of them, and click on Open. Alright, so this is my petrified wood. This is what I'm going to use for texture. And you might be going, well, what are you talking about, Walker? But I'll show you what we're going to do. So what we need to first do is slide this on over onto our photograph, and we're going to drop that here, and make that go away, but yes and okay on that. And now I have that here, and I'm going to slide that between my layers, and I'm going to change this also, and darken or color burn depending on what you're going for. I forget what I use. I think I used darken on this one, and we'll be able to move that around. So actually we're going to zoom in, so Control plus to zoom in. If I hold my space bar down, I can drag things around. And then if I click on Control T, I can transform this layer. Alright, so notice I can make it, let me zoom out so you can see what I'm doing. I can make this layer considerably smaller, larger. So since I'm dealing with a pretty small area on my image, I kind of want this to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to zoom back in here so we can see what we're doing. And then I'm going to just move this layer around until I see things that are going to kind of line up on his face that look decent. Alright, and I'm not going to leave everything there. I'm going to erase a lot of it away. But I'm going to go ahead and I think, well, what about this line over here? Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with kind of like this here. Maybe. Let's see what's over here. Yeah, I think this is the best area. So let's go with, I think we're going to do this. And then I drop that down there. The other thing I want to add, this skull, which is this guy here. And we need to select it away from the background. I just want the skull. So we learned how to layer mask. I'm going to show you a little tip. If you click on this square, the object selection tool, or press W, click and drag over the whole thing. Oh, that's on minus. Well, it selected it. And then I need this area out of here. So I'm going to do that. Oh, see how quick that was? And I'm going to drag this over and drop that down right here. Hit OK, and now I have my skull. I'm going to do the same thing with the skull, Control T. This way I can rotate it, kind of match his head a little bit better, and then I can make it smaller. I want to try to line up the eyes. I can decrease opacity so I can kind of see through, so that I'm kind of matching up eyes and mouth. Looks like we need to go a little bit smaller. It's probably pretty good right about there. We'll go with that, and then check mark to put it in place. Boost up my opacity again, and I'm going to make that guy disappear, and we are going to actually highlight. I'm going to move this on top. And let's see what we got. I think I'm going to erase away the skull first. So click on the layer mask, get our paintbrush tool, and change this to black. And I'm going to need a smaller brush. We're going to want to go with a pretty, a fairly low hardness on this, and then our size will go right about here. And you can just kind of start erasing away. I think actually I want that side. And then I can increase, decrease flow. If I have it 100%, it's going to erase it all away. If I have flow up here a little bit lower, it's going to just erase a little bit away. So it just kind of helps you blend things a little bit better. And I think what we'll do is just going to kind of, I think I want to do that. And I'm going to decrease the opacity on the skull just a little bit. Try that out right there. And I think we're looking pretty good. Get a little bit of that so it blends just a little bit better. Okay, so we're just going to go real quick on this. You guys can fine-tune it for sure. And then I'm going to go real low on my flow. Big brush. And just kind of right here around the mouth. I want it to blend just a little bit better. Okay, now I'm going to make that disappear. And I'm going to work on this texture that I have. Again, I'm going to mess with the layer mask. Over here, I'm going to get rid of most of this texture. I need to increase my flow again. Okay, so I didn't want to do quite that much. I'll leave a little bit there. Okay, and then on this side, I'm going to go a fairly small brush. And we don't want texture to overlap in places where there's other like 3 dimensions or where the skin changes. So like kind of on the nose here. A lot of that's covered up, so it's not too big of a deal. But on the mouth and the lips, that's just not going to quite look right. And then from the chin to the neck. So I'm just going to get rid of some of this. And what you can do is, and on the eye here, I want to kind of be careful with that. And then I can adjust color. Let's go in here, and I'm going to go to adjustments. Oops, I'm on the mask. I forgot what I was doing. Adjustments and hue saturation. And then I can kind of adjust if I want it to be a little more on the red side or on the kind of green side. We go a little more green on this. I'm going to saturate a little bit. I'm going to hit OK. And then I need to get this texture off of these other things. I might leave some on his hand. That might be okay. Get back on the layer mask. But I don't want that hard edge there. That doesn't look right. And I'm going to use a bigger brush, and then we're going to get rid of this on his jacket, because that doesn't look right. Okay, so go around there, clean that up. So there we go. What you can do is I can just drag this over again, and if I wanted to do something on his hand, I can again make this nice and small. Put that over top of his hand to get some texture. And again, I'm just going to do this real quick. And I use dark. I'm going to go, let's do linear burn on that. Put that on his hand. And I'm going to put another layer mask. And let's get rid of all this around here. Whoops, too much. Okay, so, and you're going to want to obviously get in there and be careful around his hand, but this is something else you can do to just add texture in different places. Let's do that. And then brush tool, smaller, and then, you know, kind of clean that up, because we don't want people to realize that we're faking them. Okay, so again, quick and dirty for this. But now, kind of looking a little better. I think we need to get rid of more of that skull. Ooh, and we're able, I think I moved too much of the skull. I'm seeing his braces in there. I'm actually going to go full on that, and then I'll erase away parts that I don't want quite so much. You don't want to do too much because then it's not going to look right. I don't really like that on this chin very much. Oh, that's this guy here. There we go. That's pretty good. The next thing that I do is, this is all too bright for a zombie. So I'm going to select the zombie here. I'm going to, and that's, I want to edit around him, so I'm going to select the inverse. And I'm going to create an adjustment layer, go to levels, and I'm just going to darken this up. So notice we're darkening things. Alright, looks a little better. And then what I want to do is darken this up. That didn't quite get selected around him. Whoops, I got to switch to white. Darken around his hand. Maybe some of his body a little bit. And now we have the beginnings of a zombie. So obviously you'll spend more time and fine tune it, but hopefully that gives you some direction. If you have questions on particular things to do, there's all the Learn tools in Photoshop, and obviously ask me and I'll do my best to help you. So have fun with this, and I look forward to seeing your results.